Hey, welcome back to, y'all, I feel like I have my own talk show now, so I'm so excited. Doing these weekly Tay Talks has been so fun. If you don't know me, my name is Marte, Martay. For those of you who are like, huh, I've never heard that name. My name is Marte, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I love to do my Tay Talks on Tuesdays. Tay Talk started off like I tell y'all in every video. If you're not new here, welcome back. Tay Talk started off in my mom's living room, like very simple. I felt led to just talk. Like I had downloads from God I wanted to share. I want to talk about romantic situations, all the things. And like what's funny is that people I feel like tune into my Tay Talks more than my music. We could talk about that on a whole nother day, but I was kind of offended at first. But then when you realize, something's working and you're connecting to people, you just roll with it and you just like stop thinking about it. So yeah, we're here. And today it's February, y'all, officially. And I've been wanting to do this for like a couple years, have a series like this. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but maybe by the time this comes out, I'll have a name for it. But I want to do a series on dating and romantic life as a Christian person and 20 whatever year it is right now, but we are like not, and we're not in the era of Ruth anymore, y'all. So like, how do you date? I'm not going to go lay at some dude's feet. Was it really his feet? So I just, this might be controversial for some. I'm not really trying to stir the pot at all. My heart behind this, hear my heart. You ready? My heart behind this is I have a lot of girlfriends who really desire to be wives and married to great men. And I have that same desire. And for so long, all I was ever told from a lot of people in the church, and I don't think this is bad per se, I think this is a piece of it, but it's not the fullness of it, was that like just different things. And it wasn't all the people. So I'm not saying everybody said this, but a good majority of people in the church that I personally know, so I'm speaking from my experience. I'm not saying a general blanket statement. We're not doing this here on Tay Talk. We don't do general blanket statements on my Tay Talks, y'all, okay? So my own personal experience, was a lot of people would say, well, have you prayed about it? Okay, yeah, you've prayed about it. Well, it's just not your time yet. Or, which is true in a lot of cases. This is true. You're not ready yet. Maybe you're not ready for God to bless you with a man in your life. Or some people would not necessarily say this outright, but they would kind of infer it by different comments, which is super hurtful. And I did a post on this on Instagram, and I got a lot of traffic from y'all. Follow me on Instagram, Marte Music. People would say this right here. Well, perhaps you're not pure enough or holy enough. God has not made you holy enough yet, or you have not, like, God has not made you good, like basically good enough yet. And I just want to, like, if you are a woman or a man watching this, no matter what your gender is or, whatever, we're not getting into that conversation right now, but like whatever you claim to be, my girls and my guys, I just want to say God ultimately, yeah, if you give him control of your life, he will lead your life. But a lot of us are not letting him have full control because we have preconceived notions of what dating should be like in our lives. That's number one. Number two, you are good enough just as you are. I think marriage is just as much a gift as singleness. I'm not married as of this video right now, me recording it, but I do have a partner and a boyfriend. And so we, Lord willing, do it, Lord and us, you know what I mean? We hope to get married. We've talked about it from like day probably like 5 of knowing each other because I'm intense. And I'll be playing games out here, you know what I mean? I don't know if I recommend that for everybody, but yeah. I can now see on the other side of like, I'm not like some people would say, oh, you're still single or whatever you think I am. I've been like really, really single, like nobody in sight for many, many years. Like this is my first boyfriend, like for real. And mostly because I've had opportunities to date people. I haven't felt like those are people I need to be dating long-term exclusively and walking towards marriage with. I have never met someone until now that I feel like I should walk towards marriage with. Never. And I think that was the Lord's sovereign provision because I'm a racehorse and he knows that. And I would probably seal the deal with someone. Yeah. Anyway, so he saved all that for now, but when it's time. But I'm 32 right now. At the time that I met my boyfriend, I was 31. And so I had never had a relationship before then, but my life was so rich. I was single. I was often traveling and doing the Lord's work through music, which was incredible. I have gotten to see almost every state in America except for two, traveling, doing music. I've seen other countries by the way of doing music ministry. It has been incredible. I've met incredible people. I have made incredible friends, like such rich friendships. I've gotten to know the Lord on levels that I just don't think I could have done within a relationship. And now that I'm in a relationship, I very much love this man with all my heart. At the same time, I realize there's a lot less time to be found when you're in a relationship. And I think people say that all the time. And you hear that when you're single and you're just like rolling your eyes, like, I just want a husband. Like, get away from me, chick with all this wisdom that you have or whatever. And I would just like look at people and be like, yeah, okay, that's great because you're in that situation, but I'm not. So God, just give me my husband. But the reality is they're right. And I'm grateful for like those moments. I didn't sit around waiting. And I'm just like so grateful because it's made me the person that I am, that attracted this man. And as well as that, I realized that like you can get wrapped up, and a lot of us have, and I don't think I was necessarily there 100%, but I had my days where you really think that like getting, to that relationship status or getting that part of your life fulfilled with the Lord and what he has for you, you really feel like that's going to like change a major part of your heart. And it does change you. But like the reality is only the Lord satisfies your heart. That's really what I'm trying to say. The Lord satisfies your heart, whether you're in a relationship or out of a relationship. And the reality is no matter who you're with, you still need the Lord to satisfy your heart and to be your everything. And I think I found that in my singleness, which was really great. And it has translated into me not being clingy and like really dependent on friends and this new boo that I got. So like I am super grateful, and I just pray that the Lord would bless this series. Lord, bless this series. And I pray that people would be touched and encouraged and hear from him through it, and then carry on the torch to really see their dreams come true with the Lord. So that's a lot, but I that's what I want to do. And so with this series, I want to have some people on, including the guy that I'm dating. I've already talked to him. He said yes. And I know he's like, dragging his feet because he doesn't like cameras and stuff, but we're going to do it, as well as some, like, I'd love to have some married people on, as well as some friends. But I really want to talk about today, just like dating in right now it's 2022, but like, I think just like in the modern era, because I have a lot of friends whom I love that just don't want to date. They want to wait on the Lord. And I ask them every time. So really quickly, I just want to back up. Let me finish my sentence. I ask them every time, did the Lord tell you to not do anything? And a lot of them will say nothing, like speechless. And so faith without works is dead. That's a scripture in the Bible. And one thing I was challenged and how I got on this journey of dating, I was kind of doing that same thing for many years. I think I started really wanting to find a partner when I was like 27. I was a little bit late for, the normal trajectory of like a woman in America who wants to get married. Most girls that I know, I'm in the Midwest right now, they're like trying to get married at like 22. You know what I mean? And that's fine. I think that's beautiful. But I'm from California. The culture where I was raised is a little bit different. So naturally, I just wanted to get married when I was older. And I was even raised, my dad would say, hey, like, don't worry about marriage till you're 30. And literally, that's when I started kind of worrying about it. He kind of brainwashed me. I don't even know if he knows, but like, he kind of brainwashed me. I think he was just being a dad, like, and it was cute to him. But like, I literally did not worry about like dating anyone seriously. Guys, I'd go on dates here and there. And like, I wasn't like not blind. I wasn't blind, but like, I just didn't worry about having a long-term partner or a family until I was 30. I really did not. I think it hit me around 27, started warming up to the idea because I hadn't always wanted to get married. I was like, I'm not a fan of marriage because I watched my parents get a divorce and I felt like I got divorced and all of that. There's a lot of pain and trauma. And so I needed to be healed. And so I really didn't even start thinking about marriage till like 27. And I was like, oh, I think I want that. Whoa. Like, ooh. I started having weird feelings about marriage. Like, I think I want to get married. And then I started like being open. And then one day I had a conversation with my mom. And this woman goes, you know, Gabriella, which is my first name, Marte is my middle name. If y'all didn't know, Gabriella, I feel like you say a lot that you want to get married. And mind you, I'm like 29, maybe 30 at this time. She's like, but you're not doing anything. This woman cut me with a knife, y'all. She goes, when you want a job, I see you out here on Indeed.com, putting in your resumes, talking to people, networking, blah, blah, blah. When you want to get a new car, I see you out here making moves. When you want a friend or you want to go to a travel or whatever, travel stint, whatever you want to do, I see you out here doing it. But when it comes to this, I just see you sitting around on your palms and I don't know what's wrong. Like, why are you scared to date? And at the moment, I wasn't scared to date. I just felt like I had heard so many different pastors and stuff just say like, God will bring you your person. Like, why do I need to do that? My mom's like, well, faith without works is dead though. That's like the scriptures. And I'm like, okay, so I have faith for this. And I am praying actively, sometimes in tears, because like it's starting to become a burden from the Lord and I'm feeling it. But I am honestly not tangibly like doing any physical action beyond prayer. So like, okay, I said, I guess this is like I'm taking a really different approach to this versus everything else in my life. Like when I want a job, I put all my irons in the fire. I'm doing everything I possibly can. And it's not a desperation, but you just give God the most to work with. And you say, hey, God, here's my faith by all this action. And you could be really close to striving. So you got to watch the line, right? Like there's a difference between action and then striving without the Lord. I think action is very much relying on the Lord. I like that saying. It's not biblical, but it's like pray as if it all depends on God and work as if it all depends on you. It's like this intermingling of like prayer, faith, believing God, and like doing your best with the human actions and physical things that you can put forth, like the physical actions, basically. And so that's faith with works, which is very much alive and works, and that's what God can use. And then you have like striving, which is like apart from God completely. You think, well, God's not going to do it, so I'm just going to do it. And that is where we get in a lot of trouble, ladies and gentlemen, in the dating realm. When we take it upon ourselves to just like get in whatever kind of situation and like to discern on our own and all of that, God can really guide you. He's a perfect leader, let me tell you. And then we have the faith camp, and I was in this camp, the faith without works camp. And I'm laughing because that was me. I can just relate. And you're there and you have the faith and you are like believing and praying and you're almost growing weary, but you're not doing anything. So my mom was like, I need you to take both of those from the far angles and combine them, and I need you to get it together. And I was like, whoa, this woman just hit me upside the head. And I felt like, why haven't I ever been told this? That's why I love my mom. She's real. I think it was prophetic, a prophetic moment for her. So I took that word and I actually asked her in that conversation, I said, well, what do you think I should do? She's like, all these apps, Gabriella, just get on an app. Like, just do it. And I was like, ew, an app, a dating app? But you know what? Y'all, I had to lay down my pride because in the moment, I'm like, oh, what if someone sees me on a dating app? I don't want to meet my future mate on a dating app. Like, I want to meet him in person, like the old-fashioned way. You know how we all can be. And I know probably some of y'all have said that too. But I was like, I had to get to this point where I'm like, do I want a partner or do I not? Like, when you want to get in shape, you can say, like, get in good physical shape. You can say, oh, I'm only going to do it if I get to swim. But like, you might need to run. There might be a season where you need to run, where you need to bike. Like, it's really easy to be kind of like bougie and like picky about how you want things to happen. But like, God does things the way he wants them to happen. So you have to be open about that. And so I realized I had to be open about that. So I did. I got on an app or two, ladies and gentlemen. I had never been on a dating app in my life, but I did. And I realized really quickly that it's a hard life on these dating apps. Like if you don't know how to navigate them, and maybe we'll do a whole Tay Talk on dating apps, because I feel like you can be a Christian woman, you can uphold your relationship with God to the fullest extent. You can have boundaries, you can be discerning, you can walk in integrity and purity with on these dating apps without selling your soul. You can do all of that and not sell your soul to these dating apps. You can be true to who you are and true to who God is, and even have God in the experience. Like I felt like when I was on these dating apps, I had to get used to them because there's a lot of crazy people out there, but yet there's a lot of normal people like you and me out there too. Like I was on there, so I had to convince myself like, hey, Marte, you're on there. Like, so there's of course other normal people that like love God on there too. I mean, I used dating apps that weren't just godly alone, like God apps, like I know there's apps out there that are only Christian, which I found crazier people on the Christian apps sometimes than the normal ones. And so I think at the end of the day, what I'm telling a lot of my girlfriends and what I've learned from all this, and we will get into a lot of depth about all this. I'm going to go actually home and just like figure out like what we're going to do, like a series. It's starting in February because it's like Valentine's Day month. And there's a lot of thought about this that happens. A lot of stuff in Target already. Like December ended, there was Valentine's Day stuff up like the next day. I was shook. Like, there's no New Year's? Y'all don't care about New Year's? What about MLK Day? Y'all don't care about nothing else. Just Valentine's Day. I see you, consumerism. But I just want to get us in a place where we trust the Lord even with our dating lives. I think there's a place to be where you say, I trust the Lord right now in 2022 with my dating life, and it's not going to look like Ruth's. It might, but like the reality is, if the Lord has not told you it's going to look like Ruth and Boaz, it's not going to look like Ruth and Boaz. It probably won't, because you're you. It's going to look like, put your name in the sentence and then whoever else the Lord wants you to meet. And like, that's the beauty of it. I don't think we have to strive. I don't think we have to be desperate. I think there are ways to do it. And I'm going to share, and I'm kind of scared to get crucified on this because I really am going to share the truth, y'all, about how I went about dating. But I really want to get into this because it's what we need. I think it's what we need in the church right now. We need more talk about this. And I don't think I'm like the one-stop solution. I just think I'm like a big sister here, a sister. I might not even be your big sister, but just your sister. And I want to talk about it. So I would love for you guys to hit me up. You can email me martemusic@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram, martemusic, Facebook, whatever, on the bottom of this video or on this podcast app if you can. Hit me up. Let me know what you want to know about the dating experience, because your girl was led by the Lord. Literally led by the Lord. And people are going to call me crazy, but I'm not. Excuse me. I was led by the Lord to get on an app to date, and that's when I met my boyfriend. Literally, I had a huge experience with the Lord, and we'll go through this another time. I think I'm going to just do like my dating journey, like a video, my dating journey. And then like maybe one on boundaries, and then maybe one with him, and then one with some friends, and like what's holding them back, different things like that. And so, but I was led by the Lord to get on a dating app, found my boyfriend like 2 weeks later, and then was wildly surprised by who he is and his character. Crazy. And it's been kind of like uphill progression towards like what the Lord wants in our lives since then. And it's been really beautiful. And it's funny because people ask us all the time, how'd you meet? And the reality is we're like, we met on Facebook, on the Facebook dating app. And so, and we're not sponsored by Facebook. Maybe we should be. But like, yeah, I really want to get into this. And a lot of my friends, not all of them, but I've had a lot of girlfriends, and I've been that girlfriend where you're kind of waiting for the Lord to do it, and he might do it that way. But I always encourage my girlfriends, if the Lord did not tell you to not do anything, you should be actively figuring out with the Lord, dancing with him in this area of your life. And that could be apps, that could be a singles event, that could be a new like youth group or new adult group or a new Bible study, or you going to a different gym. Like it could be very simple. It really could be very simple. But like the Lord could lead you in that. And it happens with like inklings, with like thoughts that you're like, I would never do that. And then you take it before the Lord and you're like, I feel peace about doing that. Like I would never get on Facebook dating. Like that's the last thing in my life I would ever want to do. Like I just felt like, ew, like who wants to do that? And it's not as bad as you would think. But I did it. And here we are. I'm like really glad that I did it. And so, yeah, I'm excited about this. Buckle up. Let's go. Let me know. Hit me up, like I said, what you guys want to talk about in terms of all of this, because I really feel like we can share. And I'm bringing on different friends who have like a wealth of wisdom. And it's going to be biblical, very biblical, but practical. We need the mergence of both. We need the mergence of faith and deeds. We need the mergence of practical and spiritual. We need the mergence of our life and God's plan. Like, we need the mergence to happen. And that's what this series is going to be about, that whole mergence. So here we go. I love you guys. Stay connected. And I'll see you in the next one. It'll be all about my dating journey from top to bottom. Every single step I did, very practical. I shared this with one of my spiritual moms. She hit me up and she's like, Marte, I need to know exactly what you did and how you navigated the dating scene, because I have women asking me all the time. And then that just reaffirmed the fact that I need to do this series. I was already thinking about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she wants to know everything. And so I'm going to take you through the whole journey, the encounter I had with the Lord. You already heard about my mom, that encounter. That's really what triggered it all. Then the Lord gave me an encounter, which I've already talked about. There's a video on my YouTube channel. It's called God is Releasing Divine Strategy 333, but I'll get into it again. And then from there, talk about the actual practical steps of dancing with the Lord while using dating apps. The misses and the hits and the good and the bad of it all. How you might want to navigate it. Take it before the Lord in prayer. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of conversation throughout the series. And then where the Lord has me now. And so I'm excited. It's going to be so good. And I pray that it blesses you guys. So here we go. We're going to do a dating series on my channel, on my podcast, which is crazy that I have a podcast. This is crazy. And I love you guys so much. And I will see you in the next one. All right. Until then, follow me and subscribe. And I will see